Futures trading involves risk and is not suitable for all investors. Content provided in this segment is meant for educational purposes and is not a solicitation to buy or sell commodities.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Tech Talk. I am Cody. He is Andy, and coming back, making another appearance on Tech Talk is Crabman from way back when.
Crabman.
Andy, how we doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Glad to see we have an oldie but a goodie back on the show.
Griffin wanted to be on the show today, G-Money, but he couldn't be on. He's at school. So he asked our Crabman go on instead. So
rock on. So we got 3 charts today. One of them came at request.
And so then we tailored the other 2 charts around this request. We've got all class 4 all the time. We're going to look at butter, then non-fat, so in the order that they're traded. And then we're going to look at class 4 futures, which was the request. So are you growing your beard out, by the way? What's going on with that?
We're trying. Wintertime, man. You got to keep warm.
Remember when you did, I think I have a picture of you, you tried to grow your hair out.
Where I didn't cut my hair for I think it was 3 months.
Something like that. You going to do that
way
again?
back when. That was 2018, 19?
Well, then we all paid for you to get that extra nice haircut.
That's right.
The whole shebang.
It was glorious, man.
All right. You going to do that again?
No, that was a one and done type deal.
All right. It's a little bit of a heat wave going on, by the way, just so you know.
I know.
It was 35 degrees when it was balmy today. I talked to our good friend Trevor Sluggers the other day, back when it was minus 20. And he said, man, I thought it was cold when it was 30 degrees this morning out in California.
Come on.
Life of Trevor. What are you going to do?
I know.
By the way, too, I did talk to Jaskell last week.
Yeah.
I'm bugging him. We're going to get him back on the show this year.
We'll get him there.
He hasn't been on in a couple of years now. So this is it. This is the year Jaskell's coming back.
All right.
But for now, we got charts. So this is better. You and I looked at this a few weeks ago. And I didn't move anything. We looked at this big Fibonacci retracement. This goes back to COVID times 110.
Yeah. A lot of support here at 250.
A lot of support. So we had this big red support line right here at 250, basically. It's 249 and some change. And this is these lows from when we really broke hard and then climbed back out of it over $3. I mean, this is dangerous. It's just flirting with danger here. We basically went to that support level and have since struggled to break.
Right. And we're sitting right there right now at 250.
So here's an interesting one. What if we go like this? And what if we're in the midst of wave 2 right now and we do something like that? I know you'd want to add 25% roughly to wave 2. So let's just do that. $2 takes you right back down. I mean, I didn't do the math on that precisely, but I mean, you want to extend it a little bit from the first wave, but that takes you down to call it around $2. I mean, that starts to be where I start to look at it, right? This was an area of traffic before, tried to get above it, quickly came right back down, tried to bounce, failed again. And once you get through that price, man, it was just lights out. We took off.
Yeah.
That was back in 2021. Jeez.
Yeah.
So futures don't seem to think so out forward though, right? I mean, it's 270s, 280s all the way down.
I was going to say, you got to get a settlement below 249, 248 and a half to really start breaking this thing, I believe. Just like the chart shows, every time we get down to this 250 range, we cannot do it. Cannot break through.
And I think you have to be mindful too of all this consolidation.
Right.
I understand this is a big support level. It's acting like it right now. I think this is just as important in that, say we break, I think we run into traffic here, getting through this low right here. What price is this? 225. Let's just say a 220 settlement or lower. I'm just rounding right there, but getting us through that price, I think that gets dangerous because there's not a lot. I mean, the market really accelerated from 190 to that price.
Yeah.
Right. And then it gapped. So there's not a lot of technical support there. You could be a quick kind of flash in the pan down to $2. It's a huge move, right? We're talking about 50 cents from here, but I think the first step is you got to get below this support. You got to get a settle below 250. You got to get another open lower than that. Then we can talk about it. Until then, it could just be trading sideways. I think in order to do that, first step is I think we have to really get some of this futures curve lower.
Drop it. Yeah. Agreed.
I mean, there's a pretty healthy premium baked in. I don't know. Step one would have to be take out some of this premium, but hey, you could take out that premium probably pretty quickly by closing at 248 and then opening lower after that.
Right.
You could turn into a free fall there. So
yeah,
I don't know. This one's interesting, man. This one's interesting. Right ahead of Easter. Easter will be right around the corner here. It's coming up.
Yeah. It's going to be the next major holiday for buying.
So what's the Easter bunny bringing you this year?
I don't know. Hopefully some chocolates.
Some chocolate. Are you like a big bunny chocolate kind of person, or do you want the little guys?
Drew, what are those eggs? The
Cadbury eggs.
Those are good.
Maybe you should have a big Easter egg hunt this year.
There you go.
Just make sure they're the plastic ones and not real eggs that you die, because if you lose one, I think that happened to us when we were kids.
It's a little nasty.
We lost one and found it a few weeks later. It was a little gross. All right, next one, powder. What do you think here, boss?
Looks like Nonfat's starting to roll over a little bit here on spot. We gapped the lower and yeesh.
You're talking about right there.
Right there. Yep.
Yep. It's tough to ignore. I mean, a few things here, right? So this is a 200 period average, meaning this is a weekly chart. And so it's the last 200 weeks. We just opened below that price. That hurts. And what I find interesting too is that even though when you just look at the chart itself, you just look at this price action right here, it looks pretty sideways, doesn't it? What sticks out to me is right here. So you had all this consolidation, but the momentum just slowly has started to drift down. And now, I mean, it crossed zero back in July, meaning it went from negative to positive momentum back in July. So talking about close to 8 months that we've been in positive momentum territory. To go negative like that, that's a nasty little warning sign right there.
Right.
Especially with, I mean, gosh, this is like, dude, this is your chart right here, man. One gap.
There's a lot of gaps on the way down to $1.24 that you have.
3 gaps. Oh my gosh. Gaps galore.
Yeah.
We already filled this one, so you can't, that one's gone.
Right.
But I guess if let's say we do roll over, here's one to be mindful of too on the way back up. But yeah, this could get a little bit dicey. It's a big move. If we were to go, let's say we fold all these 3 and go back to this level of support, you're talking about like 125. Something I will say it's parallel to this is Whey is starting to roll over.
Right.
I think the back of the envelope math is Nonfat should be approximately 3 times the price of Whey. And so if Whey is good at 70 cents, Nonfat sure should be good at $1.30. Obviously you can have these discrepancies, right?
Right.
That would be a really big secondary, like kind of confirmation, if you will, intermarket analysis.
Mm-hmm.
If Whey starts to roll over, Nonfat's in trouble.
Yeah, it could kind of lead the way into more of a bearish non-fat chart there. See how I did there?
I did. Crabman loved it, by the way. Keep them coming. Well played. All right. So I think you and I are in agreement, if that's even a word. I think it is. We've got gaps galore. We could roll over here. You've got warning signs. We retraced a third of this move. Failed to really continue going. Gapped lower here. That's a sign of weakness. Plus, settled below the 200 period average on a weekly basis. And you've got 1, 2, 3 gaps here. It's just what we look at butter. When the market really accelerates, there's not that much technical support if it starts to break. Like you can see the same level of acceleration down.
Agreed.
So yeah, I think the thing that really cracks it, and to your point, leads the way, is if Whey starts to roll over. So that could be something that keeps this supported if like NAS Whey, for example, and UPSR Whey doesn't break. But we'll see. Last but certainly not least, you had a gentleman.
I did. Our good friend Dane from Washington wanted to see Class 4, which is why we started with the components of Class 4.
So this is March Class 4.
Yeah.
What do you think here, boss?
I mean, every time we get down to, it was $20.50, we kind of saw a little bit of a rally with all these Class 4 contracts. Obviously, this is not quite the same. We've broken down to 220. But it feels like you said, if non-fat starts rolling over and kind of gets a little bit more bearish, then obviously Class 4 is going to have a pullback on. But what happens if butter sustains our 250 number and we rally back to 260? I think you got to be very mindful of, do we settle below $19 in Class 4 up front here? I don't know. I don't think so. That would be a big correction in butter and non-fat.
Correct.
And also looking at the secondaries, like the RSI and the momentum, and I know you got the momentum right there too.
Yeah.
I mean, we're definitely, it looks to be in the RSI into oversold territory right now.
Yeah. I mean, you hit the nail on the head, I think there. It's interesting that we just looked at spot, right? And spot was showing that momentum was about to cross into negative territory, whereas Class 4, it's been negative for a while.
Right.
And actually getting to a point, to your point, oversold.
Mm-hmm.
I drew in here this 20.5 level. It's a price where we bounced once, twice, but not thrice. Right. And so like that little, how often do you get to use the word thrice?
Not often. Not very many people know that word. I always like when I hear it because, 3 times, thrice.
How many times did Achilles drag Hector around Troy?
Thrice.
Yeah. Okay. To put that on the reading list, a little classical reading for you. So what's interesting here is that you broke this 20.5. There's conflicting arguments here. The secondary stuff is saying, be careful of this break, but you've got a downtrend that's held. It was basically turned into a descending triangle, meaning it was bumping up against a horizontal line and descending and broke through that. So I guess the question is, does it maintain this breakout and continue? One thing I will say is that this market, obviously with its liquidity issues sometimes, can bounce around quite a bit. I think you have to ignore anything that trades in between here, which is a big price point.
Mm-hmm.
But if it breaks this downward trend, you could be in trouble with shorts. You probably want to liquidate because that would also mean this momentum would turn.
Agreed.
Pretty close.
Agreed.
So I think at the very least, if you're looking to do something here, you could probably be long puts. I'd love to see more confirmation on the secondary stuff. Like I said, you broke support. You've held this downtrend. You're under the 200-day. That's cause to get short. Just how?
Yeah. But like you said, instead of being short futures here, I think I'd rather be long puts. Just in the case of every time we get down to this price range, I mean, we finally got below 250. I don't know if it's going to hang out here very long.
Well, the other piece of it too, I just checked. Current cash is basically $20.
Right.
And we're right here. And so you're saying there's going to be no premiums in butter. There's going to be no premiums in non-fat.
Correct.
Maybe. I mean, that's a tough one, but we'll see. Either way, like the technicals, at least chart patterns are saying it's warranted being short. The secondary stuff and the fact that we're not even a premium to current cash, that's a tough one to be short flat price. You probably just buy puts or something like that and call it a day.
Right.
So, but we love the requests.
We do. Thank you, Dan,
Love 'em.
for the request in Class 4. We don't get very many Class 4 requests, so that's always good to take a peek at.
We love the requests. Keep them coming.
Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Well, that's going to do it for our 3 charts on Tech Talk this week. Again, we appreciate Dan actually emailed me on this one last week after he saw last week's episode.
And we're working on getting our subscriptions up, subscribers.
That's right.
So you're getting a tattoo if we get to 10,000 or something, right?
We're getting there. We're trying. We're trying our best.
You're going to get Tech Talk for life or something like that? Or
Well, that was last year's. So we'll see what this year's brings about.
all right, maybe we can do a poll of like what tattoo Cody should get.
10,000 subscribers.
Whoop, there goes Crabman.
All right, well, buddy, appreciate all the insight on the charts. Everyone, thank you for tuning in. If you have not already, please subscribe to the channel. Give us a thumbs up. We greatly appreciate it. And with that, we will see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.
See you next week.